Hello and welcome to My Own Worst Enemy. I've got a quick unboxing. This is the Aleutians campaign, the North American theater in World War II. This is from Schutz Games, and designer is Bruce Costello. So I bought this and one other game. It was Milne Bay, I believe it was called, from Blue Panther, their holiday sale. And I don't think I own any games from Schutz Games, so this will be a first for that. Also a first, I don't think I have anything on the Aleutians campaign unless it's included in one of the larger strategic games that I have on the Pacific Theater in World War II. Now, if you watch the channel, you know I love the Pacific Theater in World War II. So when I saw this one, I thought it's a no-brainer. I'm going to have to grab it just to take a look and see what we get. And knowing that Blue Panther is handling the publishing of this thing and the printing, I figured that the components were going to be well worth it. So this is the Aleutians campaign as it says. This was going on at the same time that Midway was going on. So this kind of gets forgotten when you're talking about World War II, and it takes place in the island chains up to the west of Alaska, and we'll see that. I'm hoping when we get in to see the map. So just some Japanese fighting up there. Actually, we lost territory to the Japanese for a brief amount of time, so it's kind of an interesting thing. Now, Alaska was not a state at the time, but still, we did lose some territory up there. So the components, it says there's a 12-page rulebook in here, two 11 by 17 maps, 264 full-colored 5/8-inch counters, reference chart, and two-player aid tables. And of course, the statistics, which we don't put a lot of faith in: complexity average, solitaire suitability moderate, and time to play 5 hours. Unit size regiments, ships, and squadrons. Turn time 1 month. So let's just take a look in here. I don't think there's a whole lot in this. We'll put that up there. It's a pretty small game. Let's see. Let's start right on top. We get the rule book. Nothing fancy here, no fancy cover. It's a kind of a matte paper, slightly glossy, not much of a gloss on that. And I don't know if you can see there's a very slight sheen to it, but it's very high quality paper. Again, Blue Panther did the publishing, so it is a decent paper. And it looks like it's just a black and white rule book. So I don't even see any images in here. And there's a bent page, so that's unusual for Blue Panther, but I guess it happens. No artwork in here. I'm a little disappointed in that. I like to see artwork in these rule books. I don't see any samples of play. I do see optional rules, and there's some scenarios in the very back. So we're looking at a total of, it's not even numbered. There's no page numbers. That's okay. So it's probably, let's just look here real quick what this is. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, oh, it told us it was 12 pages, right? I'm just sitting here counting, and it told us there's a 12-page rule book. Although they're not all rules, as you can see, there's some credits back here and some, looks like some designer notes just on the Aleutians campaign itself. So probably is about 8 pages of rules. So a light rules game. Okay, that's the rule book. Let's dig in a little deeper here. And next up are those player aid cards. So these are where you're gonna, looks like, track your task force, and there's some holding boxes and supply points. So supply will be part of the game, single-sided. So those are nice. Again, nice heavy paper, Blue Panther. Get the rule book out of the way. Here we have some combat tables, it looks like, detection tables, bombardment tables. Again, single-sided. Let's take a quick look at the combat tables here. Nothing fancy about those. And we'll take a look at the map last. And then the counter sheets. So these counter sheets, looks like we have, of course, the Japanese and the American counter sheets. And they are the Blue Panther brown core wooden-like counters that we're used to. Nothing on the back, strictly one-sided counters here. And I am looking, and I guess these are okay. They're a little pastel-y to me. I don't know, is that even a word? Very, very light printing. Now, they're not too hard to read. I think I would have liked to have seen a different color choice here, honestly. You can see, I can hold these up to the camera here a little bit so that you can read it. It's certainly readable, but you kind of have to strain to read some of the text on this. And the ships are very light against the really light background. The Japanese counters they're a little better with the name because the name comes out a little darker on that really light pink background. But I would have liked to have seen, I think, a different color choice for these counters. They are very, I mean, the artwork is nice, looks good, but just the color choice and the text there is maybe a little disappointing, but we shall see when we play. It will make it hard. If I'm standing up and looking down, it's going to be very hard to read some of these. I can't even read what that is. I guess it's not even text. I couldn't even tell it wasn't text. It looks like it's an airplane marker. Maybe those are some kind of, well, those are destroyers, so I don't know what that is above there. We'll find out once we actually dig into the game and see. So here you can see these are, it's really hard. On camera, it may not show up as bad, but I think that's again, DD. So maybe those are squadrons of DDs or I don't know, but I can't even tell what the artwork is there. So little disappointed on the counter art and the counter color choice, but not the art. Like I said, the art, what art I can see looks good. It's just that it's the way the colors are, it makes it really hard to tell what some of these are. So, but serviceable counters, I suppose. We'll find out when I play. Like I said, we'll go through and see how readable they are. So here's the two maps. Well, I only see one map. So now I'm wondering if this looks like two 11 by 17 maps that are joined together. And this says two 11 by 17-inch maps. So maybe this just wasn't cut, or maybe they got the dimensions wrong. Maybe the intent was that you would just place these together. Maybe they were supposed to be cut and they weren't, and then you would just place them together. So again, it's certainly a nice map. There's the islands are along here. So the Japanese invaded, where these victory points are highlighted, one victory point each. This is where the Japanese actually invaded and held territory. See some Russian territory over here, and then of course Alaska with Anchorage being on this side of the map. We even go way over this way to it's like a net island over here. So I'm not completely familiar with the Aleutians campaign. I know a little bit about it, but that's why I wanted to get this game so I could learn a little bit more about it, hopefully. But that's it. I just wanted to do a quick unboxing in case you're considering buying this game. You can at least see what the components look like. And like I said, everything looks great except for, I'm going to complain about the counters a little bit because I just don't think that the color choices here quite work. And it really makes it hard to see some of the art and some of the text, at least for me. Now, granted, my eyesight is a little better post-cataract surgery, but even with my eyes, I don't think that's enough to give a free pass on some of this choice in artwork. So we'll see, though. Maybe this is a very fun game. I'm hoping it is. I will do a playthrough here. Like I said, I also purchased, let me see if I can grab it real quick here. Let's just do a quick comparison. All right, so this is the other one I purchased. So this is Milne Bay. So maybe we'll just run through a quick run through of this one as well to see what the components look like in there. I'll just kind of shove some of this off to the side. An impromptu double unboxing here. So again, this is Schutz Games, and Peter Schutz himself is the designer on this one. Milne Bay, so this is in New Guinea, I believe, or at least the part of New Guinea, and this was the Japanese invasion, or at least the beginning of that invasion, and I think the Japanese got distracted by what was going on in Guadalcanal here and kind of neglected this, but this is the first instance of the Japanese being defeated in land combat by the Allied forces, so this should be kind of a neat game as well. Now, immediately we see, it looks like a half counter sheet, and I didn't read what's in here off the back like I did the first one. We'll do that real quick. So 8-page rule book, an 11 by 17 map, and the 88 full color half counter sheet, 5/8 inch counters, one reference chart. Says the complexity is below average, solitaire suitability is average, 1 hour, time to play, 2 mile scale, 1 day turn. So this is a very small war game. I'm going to put this aside and we'll take a look at the components. And already I like that map. It's much more colorful than the first one we saw. Let's just look at the rule book first. Now we do have some artwork in this rule book. So there's some color there. The other one I showed you was black and white only. The font size, of course, is very acceptable, easy to read. There are page numbers in this one. And there are, in fact, 8 pages of rules. So that looks like a rules light game. This is the player's aid chart they said was included. Now this also has color, is nice. We have combat results and bombardment tables there, so that's nice. And now we have this counter sheet. Now see, this counter sheet, and this is really what I wanted to open up this game to take a look at. This counter sheet is fine. I know those are NATO symbols versus artwork, so that's one reason why they're easier to see. And I know when it comes to NATO symbols versus art, I really have no preference on which I see. To me, it's more about gameplay than what the counter art looks like. Although some games I do like to have the NATO counters more than the artwork. That's just, it depends on the game. Maybe I should say that. So anyway, these counters are much easier to read with the exception of whatever this yellow is. That is, okay, those are E's. So I don't know if you can see that. When I zoom in, you can probably see it easily because I'm zoomed in. But if you're looking at this from standing up looking at a game map, it's a little hard to read. So maybe a better color choice on the E's, but everything else is readable. And the color choice there is fine. So I would like to have seen something like this in the Aleutians campaign, where you can actually see the artwork. And like I said, not necessarily NATO counters. I think the artwork that were on the counters in the Aleutians campaign, those are fine. Just make them a little more easier to see. And there are reverse sides to this counter sheet. We didn't see a reverse side on the Aleutians campaign. But maybe some hidden information there. Note the Japanese flags, which again, they're very light and they're kind of hard to see. But maybe those are hiding some information. And then finally, we have the 11 by 17 map sheet, single-sided for Milne Bay. And that's a very nice map, nice artwork. Really get the feel for the jungles and everything there. So that's good job on the artwork. So here's what the counters would look like on that artwork. And like I said, the color choice here is fine, with the exception of the yellow lettering on the white. That was a horrible choice, but much better job on the counters here than with the Aleutians campaign. So that's going to do it. That's I was going to do an unboxing of the Aleutians campaign only, but we kind of led ourselves into looking at what was inside Milne Bay with the counter sheets that were included with this one. Wanted to get an idea of what to expect. So I will do playthroughs of these on the channel, and we'll see how these games play. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't tried anything from this publisher, so looking forward to see what they have to offer. And if you're thinking about buying either one of these, at least now you can see what the components look like. So we will end it here. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. And as always, I look forward to seeing you back here next time. Thanks for watching.